Good morning, members. Welcome to this meeting of the West Ham Park Committee. As you're aware, the public element of this meeting is being live streamed. So unfortunately, we've had some difficulties, so the live stream might be delayed, but the recording will be posted after the meeting. Those participating in the meeting have given consent to their inclusion. The recording will be available on the City Corporation's YouTube channel following the meeting, and it shall be retained for up to 1 civic year. Whilst we endeavour to live stream all our public meetings, technical difficulties may sometimes prevent live broadcasts. In these instances, we aim to upload a recording after the meeting. All personal data will be processed in accordance with the Data Protection Act 2018, and for any further information on that, please feel free to contact us. Chair.
Thank you, Town Clerk. A very good morning to everyone, members, officers, and those that are watching this recording online. I think we're all enormously relieved to see the finish line of this year, what has been a very, very busy but productive year for the park. I will start with apologies. We've had apologies from the Deputy Chair, who's away in Northern Ireland, Deputy Anne Corbett, Councillor John Whitworth, and Deputy Ben Murphy has noted that he is about to enter the room. Our deep psychic bond. That he will have to leave us at 10:30. Any other apologies that need to be noted at this point? Justin Meath Baker. Thank you very much, Catherine. Right, item 2, which is declarations of interest under the Code of Conduct. Look at the committee. Have any updates to existing interests or any new interests? No. Thank you very much. Shall we turn to the minutes? The minutes of our meeting held on the 23rd of October. These are for decision, so I'll ask the committee if there are any amendments or comments. We've not received any since those were circulated. Seeing none, committee happy to approve those? There we are. Happy to approve? Yes, yes, yes. Content. Thank you. Minutes approved. That takes us to the Assistant Director's report, which is for information. Bill, good morning, and over to you.
Good morning, Chairman. Apologies, I'm multitasking. Good morning. The Assistant Director's report is relatively light touch this cycle, Chairman, since we had a meeting not too long ago. My report is for information, although I did want to report back one specific item, which is the officer's ongoing response to the increase in ASB and other activity in the park. And it is laid out in my report, so I won't belabor it, but I am pleased to respond back that the actions we've taken, both proactively and in response to what has happened, appear to have had the intended effect. We have significantly decreased inappropriate activity in the park. We have been able to plan to reduce the additional security presence that was put into place. We continue to liaise with our colleagues at the London Borough of Newham and with the Metropolitan Police and other service providers, and we are monitoring the situation, continuing to track data and to make decisions accordingly. Some of the decrease is almost certainly related to the change in the season and the weather, but we do have what we believe, at least anecdotal evidence of what we did was successful in ensuring that the park remains a safe place for all visitors. Thank you, Chairman.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. And I think we're all enormously relieved and pleased to see that heading in that direction. I think there's been huge concern from the committee over the course of this year. But just to reiterate our thanks to you and to the entire team at West Ham Park that have had to navigate some incredibly difficult, stretching, stressful, and at times overwhelming situations on the ground in West Ham. So we're most grateful if you pass on our thanks to them. Bill, we're also joined today by Susanna Bear. Susanna, wonderful to have you with us and to meet you in person for the first time. Is now a good time to do some intros, Bill?
I have a brief presentation, but
we do. All right, so that's fine. So can I just, should we take any initial questions from the committee on the Assistant Director's report? Ben.
My Chair, just one, Bill, just to pick up on the persons believed to be engaged in sexual activity within the park. Given the amount of young people we have, particularly in the park, is that a concerning trend? I saw one is arrested, which is great. There's obviously police engagement there.
It's a good question, and it was a trend. It's one of the things that arose in parallel with the other activity that caused us to take the steps that we did. It has reduced. We think it was related, or at least running in parallel with the other activity. But again, it's something being closely monitored, and we're engaging with the Met, and they are aware that there was a brief spike in this kind of activity.
Is that, sorry, just a minor one. But is it particular times of day that where the activity in the park is violence or whatever?
I'll take this question. We did see it tended to happen in the afternoon, so we were noting that there was an increase in activity in sort of drug activity, whether it was dealing or taking, and that was in the afternoon. And then there was a lot of antisocial behaviour that also tended to be later in the afternoon. But then as the summer went on, we started to see it occurring in the morning. Hence, we changed the park guard officers to come in earlier so that we had support for security guards throughout the whole day. So there was activity in ornamental gardens at 9:30 in the morning. There was a series of robbery related crime and the activity. So there wasn't then just the afternoon. It tended to be throughout the day, but generally it was more mid to late afternoon.
Not particularly then related to school emptying times or anything, or Stratford School, nothing.
No, they're not related at all. We believe that the reason why West Ham Park may have been affected the most was because there was a lot of activity and work taken in Priory Park. They had cleared a lot of vegetation and trees, which opened up sight lines. So we believe with our liaison with Newham Council, and the Met said that it may have pushed the activity towards West Ham Park. We know that some of the surrounding roads have always had heightened activity. And they were tending to come into the park mainly around Marjorie Gate, which is why we made the decision to close Marjorie Gate for a few weeks. That had a big impact, actually. And we also had the presence of a park guard vehicle, which then combined with the patrols along the main gates, did actually sort of mainly allow us to sort of deal with issues before they became problematic.
Hello. I'm
Thank you,
listening
Jane.
to the committee meetings for.
Oh, hello, Wendy.
I should be. So I'll give you a ring later. I'm still in bed at the moment.
Oh, Wendy, sorry, you're not on mute. Oh, well done. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Any other questions? No, back to you, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. And as you rightly noted, it's been a very busy year. And I think the team are celebrating a very successful and challenging year, to be sure, but also looking forward to another year. But just a brief presentation to kind of visualize what the team have been up to. So we've got members of the ranger and gardening team carrying out maintenance to the pergola and the rose garden, which many members will be familiar with, and also doing bulb planting in the ornamental garden. And the bulb mix is going to create a strong seasonal interest, provide pollinator support, and provide the ongoing cheerful and welcoming landscape. I am not going to try to pronounce the Latin names of what is being planted, but I trust that they were very carefully selected by our very qualified team on the gardening team. And I just wanted to, this is a brief operational improvement, but note that we continue to be in conversation with park users to understand the little things we can do to make the park better. And what we learned was that the gate that went into the outdoor gym was not automatically closing. And so dogs were getting in there and interrupting some workout sessions. So we did make a change, and we've got an automatic closing gate now. And there's a member of our ranger team modeling its use. I think this time of year it would be remiss not to note Newham's biggest leaf pile, which members will know is a really wonderful community event that occurs every year in November, depending on when the best leaf fall is. Despite weather this year, we had another 300 people come, get together, rake the biggest leaf pile in all of Newham, and then have local children from the community become very messy and have a good time in it. And I think it's really important that we acknowledge that this is organized and led by the Friends of West Ham Park. It's really one of the many wonderful things that they do in the park. And again, it's just a really great, strong partnership that allows us to reach out to the community and bring them in and have a lot of great community events that help demonstrate how important the park is. So we're grateful to them for their ongoing work. Similarly, we had another event that is an annual fan favorite on Halloween. This was the learning team collaborating with the Friends of West Ham Park, Park Primary School, City Corporation volunteers, and of course our West Ham Park team to transform the formal gardens into the annual magical spooky trail. The event really focuses on reaching out to local Newham families and children to participate and give a really great community activity in the park. And the team did keep track of some information. It looks like 97% of the attendees, of nearly 400 attendees, from the hyper-local area. So really great to open the park up and invite people in. And again, this was another successful spooky trail in West Ham Park with the learning team taking the lead. We've talked about this previously, but again, on the back of a very busy year, I just wanted to again acknowledge the hard work that led to another Green Flag Award and again reclaiming the Green Heritage Award at West Ham Park. That's it, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions? Oh, Catherine, yes.
Thank you. It's great to hear the community involvement. I wonder how many of the people the same people come to different activities. So does coming to one activity, what's the repeat or the ongoing implication for that person in terms of future visiting of the park?
It's a good question. I'm not sure that we have data. I will look into it, but I think we have strong anecdotal data that the events that we're doing are bringing back repeat customers, not only to participate in these events, but to engage them into park, to make sure that everybody knows it's a park for them. This is a welcoming park and it's open to everybody, regardless of what side of the park you live on, what side of Newham you live in. This is very much a community space. So I think it is part of our value added offer on the park, that it's not just maintaining a beautiful space and having wonderful playgrounds and workout equipment, but there's other activities to make sure it remains very much in the public realm.
Just follow up on that, Bill. There is some great work that is going on in the park, and certainly the calendar of events is building. But are we at a stage now where we've put together a sort of annual calendar that is published way in advance so people know when they can get involved? And how do we share that? And the second thing is just to go back to your closing gate. You know, actually, we put that in some of the other open spaces, and the complaints are huge because of accessibility, because it's really difficult to get a wheelchair through them. So it might just be worth being aware of that. We are actually, it's funny you ask, Ben, because we're putting together the full program of events across all of North London open spaces for the other 3 spaces that I oversee as well. And when that's put together, we'll share it for the whole calendar year. That moves a little bit, dates change, and when we have opportunities, we do add new events, but I take your point that it's really important to let people know well in advance so they can plan accordingly. On the topic of the closing gate, I'll ask Charlotte to come in because I think it is something they considered.
Thank you, Bill. Also, just to say about the closing gate, it was actually a gap before there was anything, and we were getting more complaints about dogs running into the green gym. So the operative rangers spoke to those that used it, and the feedback was that a gate would be preferred to keep dogs and people coming out. So far since it's been installed, we haven't had any complaints from those needing access, but the gate does open. So it can be propped up and double open to enable a wheelchair or a double buggy, for example. So it is still accessible.
Just to sort of build on the usage of the site, you know, obviously you've got the social media presence through Facebook, etc., which I also get, which is really helpful. But can we monitor or track the sort of activity on that in terms of the engagement? Have we got any stats and facts on that stuff? That then could lead into more usage of the park.
It also a good question. We do. We have a digital content officer part-time who is building a data set essentially that we can track. We use various analytical tools, but what it helps us do is understand which events are getting picked up and which not, which aren't, which informs, are they popular or not, or are we doing all we can to make sure we're promoting them? and it's something we can track, and I can probably bring back some high level information in the new year.
Excellent. And then Bill, Susanna, shall we?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Members will recall that we have been recruiting for a head of development and partnerships at North London Open Spaces. This is a new and really exciting role that was created as part of the charity review. And the role will oversee a number of things, including leading on fundraising, on pursuing grants, pursuing partnerships, in addition to other things. So we were very successful in our recruitment. Susanna has joined our team, and Susanna will lead on fundraising, on commercial. She will oversee all events. She will oversee all communication. She will oversee all volunteering, and importantly, strategic partnerships. But I'd like to introduce Susanna and give her a chance to just say hello to the committee.
Hi, everyone. Really good to be here. So I'm Susanna Bear. I have been enrolled just over 2 months now. I've got about 20 years of experience of cross heritage charity sector. So doing events, operations, lots of fundraising, and most recently I was head of partnerships for the Mayor's Fund for London, which is a charity that sits alongside the Greater London Authority, championing opportunities for young people. So bringing a lot of that to these charities, to this organisation, and as Bill said, I think it's bringing everything together through communication, social media, looking at things like data, impact, dashboards, alongside kind of the storytelling, the relationships that we're going to need to both bring income into the charities and the spaces, but also sort of tell the stories of what that income actually can achieve. So I'm excited about it. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Ben.
It would be good perhaps at some stage to get an overview of what those objectives are for year 1, year 2, year 3, so that we're a bit clearer on what the deliverables might be.
Susanna will be bringing a report in the new year. I should have mentioned this. This is my oversight, providing an overview of the path ahead, what we need to do to become fundraising ready. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built, processes and policies that need to be written. But then what we're looking to prioritize, what we think are longer term objectives and major priorities, and what are some of the early wins that might be able to achieve. So you'll be able to see that report. I think it'll be the January cycle.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. Welcome again, Susanna. Any other comments, questions? No, thank you. That takes us to item 5, which is the revenue and capital budgets for 26 and 27. This paper is going to be deferred to the meeting on the 29th of January, which means that we can have no discussion about the paper or its contents. I think the committee is well aware of the process we've gone through this year around budgeting, the grant funding model, the strains and pressures that we've had for several years, and our need to sort of consider the positioning of this. And development very recently has been around the finance chair's agreement and us moving forward on a rebaselining exercise for the natural environment charities across the board, so not just ourselves. I wonder, Katie, do you want to just give us the sort of latest on that?
Absolutely fine. So I think one of the things that the Natural Environment Charities Review has enabled us to do is to really look wholesale at all of our charity committees and the resourcing that we're putting into those. And I think although it has come rather later in the budget process than I think we would have ideally liked. Ideally, we would have been doing this a few months earlier. The fact that the Efficiency and Performance Working Party has agreed to consider a rebaseline budget is really positive. So we are taking that opportunity actually this week, actually doing quite a lot of work to come to with the team some new figures for the budget, really focusing on what is it going to take for the teams to have what they need to run a safe service and an effective service. Now, this is not going to solve everything, to be really clear, in terms of things like fundraising capacity, etc. That will be handled through a different route. So that's Natural Environment Charities Review, and that will still be picked up. I think what we are very keen to do is make sure that the budgets that we're providing through this process and for the next year in particular can allow the team to run a safe service. And I think that's the thing that we are addressing. So what we will be doing is the team are working this week. We will be circulating to the committee some new figures, and we would welcome your thoughts in the run up to us then engaging with other committees, so particularly the Resources and Allocation Subcommittee and the Finance Committee, who will be looking at draft figures in January, all with a view to those figures then coming back for formal approval by this committee in January, February. I think 29th of January. Thank you. We're going to all the National Environment committees in January, February, and then Finance Committee on the 17th of February. We'll be considering the whole budget. What I will say is that, and just a reminder that the corporation is under financial constraints at the moment. So anything that we put forward will be subject to Finance Committee agreeing, and we will seek to engage with committee, all of our committees throughout this process to keep you appraised of where we get to.
Thank you very much, Katie. That's hugely, very, very helpful. I'm going to leave it there for this item. We will see this back on the 29th of January. In advance of that, no doubt, collate thoughts and comments on the revised numbers. Excellent. Item 6, which is questions relating to the work of the committee. Town Clerk is not aware of any questions to be raised, but I'll ask the question now if there's any questions in the spur of the moment. This one I should probably hand back to you, Zoe.
Thank you, Chair. Do you have any other business to raise?
I do not.
Thank you. So now we move to item 8, which is exclusion of the public. Does the committee agree to exclude the public?
Agreed.
Thank you. Please wait while I stop the recording.